Hi, I'm Jon Leslie from Broadcove Insights. I'm going to show you how to set up a very simple request management system in Favro. So first of all, I've created a collection. I've simply entitled it Request Management. The first thing I did was add this new request triage backlog over here in this left-hand pane, which is expandable and collapsible. B key is the hotkey, or I could use the user interface like this. So now, adding a new request, there's multiple different ways to have a new request submitted to this new request backlog. So first of all, the easiest way is to simply add a row by clicking that button there. I have an automation kicked off, so as soon as a request comes in any way, shape, or form, it's going to automatically assign it to the person who needs to do the triage to maybe add more information, figure out what support rep or what person is best talented enough to work on this particular type of request. So we have that simple automation going, and I'll show you how that works in a second. There's multiple ways, as I said, to have requests entered in here. They could come from somebody entering in a request into their My Cards and then adding it directly to that board, which is simple enough to do because the cards in Favro can exist in multiple places at the same time. Or it could come in by hitting the hotkey N, maybe something like this, putting it up in place where you want it to live in the list, like this. They can even come in from automations, or they could come in even from emailing. Maybe somebody sends an email directly to this board, and that's another way to submit a request to this board or get it entered into the system. So once that's in the system, there's multiple ways to actually have it start going through the workflow to get that request fulfilled or that request completed. So the first way to do that is I have an automation set up here where they go from new to maybe this is now ready to be worked on. I've opened up the request and I've entered in any details. I've dragged and dropped maybe supporting documents. I might have even linked to another card in Favro that's related to a similar case, that type of thing. This is really a real-time Confluence page or like a Google Doc where you can collaborate in real time directly on the request card itself. You can even have a conversation related to the request here on the card itself as well. Maybe something like this. So full living history there on that request card. Now I could simply drag and drop it over to this request Kanban, go through the flow from ready to work on, in progress, review, all the way to done eventually. Or I have automation set up where when I change it to ready, it automatically adds that same card to ready to work on here in the request Kanban. Now, I can also do that by assigning somebody. So if I assign another team member to the card like this, it automatically does the same thing. It changes the status automatically over here to ready and adds that card, and also, of course, keeps the assignment of who that is assigned to here and moves it, adds it to this ready to work on, and also auto tags it with ready. So as Camilla, she's going to see this in maybe her My Cards, or maybe she's looking at this board in this collection or another collection because the boards can live in multiple collections at the same time too. She's going to start working on that. When she is working on it, she's going to pull that to in progress. And then here from this request triage backlog, you as the person managing all of these requests are able to see the status thanks to automations and also thanks to built-in relations of how that's flowing from start to finish through that workflow. And of course, this workflow can be configured any way you like. It doesn't have to be this simple. So as it goes from in progress to review, I have another automation firing off. First of all, it removes the in progress tag, adds the in review tag, and automatically assigns it to the person who needs to do the review, maybe a peer review, make sure that this request has actually been fulfilled. Once that's done, they can just pull that into done, and you can see here from the new request triage backlog that it's very easy to tell thanks to tagging and also thanks to relations the status of that card, the status of all these requests from a single location. So just to walk you through that again, if I assign somebody to this new request, it automatically tags that as ready, moves the status to ready on the backlog, and automatically added it to ready to work on. Now Isabella is going to take this particular request when she has the bandwidth to work on it. She's going to see it. She's going to see it in her My Card. She's also going to see it here on the board. She'll also maybe receive a notification if she has it set up to do so. And she's going to pull that again into in progress. You're able to track that again from the backlog here. Eventually she's going to complete that request, maybe have it automatically move in or has to be pulled into a review stage like this, automatically assigns the person who does the review, in this case Julian, and then eventually Julian's going to approve that and move it to done. And here from the backlog, you're able to track in real time the flow of all those requests across multiple teams, across multiple team members from a single location, because of the unique ability of Favro to have these request cards living in multiple boards and backlogs at the same time. Okay, so what do those automations look like? I'm just going to show you a couple quick examples. These are the automations that I created in that new request backlog. So when a card changes status from new to ready, for example, it's automatically going to add it to the board, that request Kanban, to the status, to the column ready to work on. The one here, as soon as a new card is created or added to this board in any way, shape, or form, again via email, from somebody adding it from another collection, whatever the case may be, it's automatically going to assign the person responsible for doing the triage, figuring out where it should go next. And this automation here, as soon as you assign to anybody on the team, it's kicking off these multiple automations. First, add it to the request Kanban board so work can begin, change the status in the backlog to ready as well, and unassign the person who's actually doing the triage once it's been assigned. Now, very similar over here, let me give us some more space, over here on the request Kanban, where those requests are actually being fulfilled, I have a number of automations just kind of handling the flow, making it more visual. You don't have to do this, but it's nice to be able to see via tagging very, very visually in all the places that the card lives, exactly the status. So that's a lot of what's going on here, and also automatically assigning, when it does get to a review stage, for example, the person who needs to do that review, as you can see here. So that is a very simple request management system setup in Favro. If you have any questions, you can of course contact me at jon.leslie, Leslie, @broadcoveinsights.com. Thanks very much.